the rolling hills and farm country of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, most famously known for its Civil War battlefield site. But we're not there today. We are at a lesser-known National Park Service site, the Eisenhower National Historic Site, home to President Eisenhower, a retirement home retreat that he and his wife Mamie built and grew farm, ranch lands. Let's go check it out and explore, shall we? This is a pretty nice view for her presidential retreat and retirement home.
But before we get into any of that, we need to figure out why we're here. Why Gettysburg, Pennsylvania? Ike grows up in Abilene, Kansas. His wife, Mamie, spends her childhood in Denver, Colorado. Two places that, if you ask me, are pretty darn far from Gettysburg. So why here?
While neither Ike nor Mamie were ever from Gettysburg, Ike was first stationed at Camp Colt in his early days of military service after graduating West Point, commanding tank training exercises. Camp Colt was located on the grounds of the Gettysburg battlefield, and his successful experiences here as his first command, adjacent to the historical significance of the battlefield site, and the peace and tranquility of the natural landscapes formed a deep-seated love to retreat and eventually retire here in Gettysburg.
President Eisenhower's love of farming and ranching, all of these fields, and then here's the show barn. The show barn, he's had world leaders over here to see his cattle that he had the best work the cattle. Many awards inside for his prize-winning Angus.
More than just a relaxing home, Ike developed the property into a growing farm and ranch land, taking deep pride in showing the best Angus, winning numerous Pennsylvania Farm Show awards and other show ribbons. His show barn also served as important conversation pieces for diplomatic engagements with high-profile visitors. Although he retired to his Gettysburg property after his presidency, the Eisenhowers acquired the property after the Second World War, giving Ike some quiet respite from the rigors of presidential leadership. But he also conducted important diplomatic work here, including stays and overnight visits by Winston Churchill and Charles de Gaulle, plus developing the first diplomatic relations with India and seeking to soften Cold War relationships with Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev by appealing to his similar status as a loving grandparent in order to find common ground. Like any home, a tour of the farmhouse will include pieces of sentimental and monetary value, memories and artifacts, including gifts from heads of state and personal family photos and trinkets. But outside of the formal living room, which Ike seldom used because he considered it too stuffy, the interior had a very familiar grandparent house feel. For some of us of a certain age, while the 50s and 60s were before our time, the fashions and styles of the era often remained static in the layouts and furnishings of our grandparents when we would visit them. And in a way, the Eisenhower farmhouse is like a time capsule to our own experiences, visiting our own grandparents. The Eisenhowers enjoyed their back porch, watching television and eating their dinners on TV trays. A visit to the farmhouse definitely gives a relaxed and comfortable vibe, which Ike himself used to his advantage in diplomatic meetings. But like any working executive, a president and farm owner needs a workspace. And when the president and his high-profile visitors are so close to hordes of tourists visiting the nearby historic battlefield, security is also of paramount importance.
It's hard to see with the reflections here behind the glass, but this is the Secret Service office here at the Eisenhower home in Gettysburg. Relatively small office, but you see all of the equipment there to keep the president and his family safe. Outside of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, we've come across Mr. Ed's Elephant Museum and Candy Emporium. This seems like an interesting place to check out. I didn't know elephants and candy can go together, but I guess elephants love their nuts and a lot of candy is made from nuts. So let's check it out.
Mr. Ed's unique combination of candy and elephants includes an elephant museum featuring an amazing assortment of elephant knickknacks, memorabilia, posters, toys, ceramics, and any sort of elephant representation you can imagine. Whether it's use in animation like Dumbo or Horton Hearing a Who, or religious or cultural representation from Africa or Asia, circuses, amusement parks, roadside attractions, this little trinket museum has it all, complete with facts about elephants, their current state of endangerment, and other amazing elephant facts. If you love elephants, enjoy assorted trinkets, or just want to experience something just a little bit out of the ordinary, definitely come and check out Mr. Ed's. The elephants don't stop with the museum and artwork, so be sure to pick up an elephant while you're here, along with your candy and tasty homemade fudge. And the fun doesn't end indoors at Mr. Ed's either. Come on outside and have a little conversation chat with Miss Ellie, and go ahead and stroll around their outside gardens. Snap some photos and enjoy a nut or two.
That's my whole name. But all my friends like you call me Miss Ellie. Oh, look! Did you see Charlie the squirrel in a box?
Here at Mr. Ed's, it looks like we have some woods and gardens that we can stroll here as well. Ring the bell. Bowling balls. This place is fascinating. Looks like a quirky roadside attraction entering the enchanted forest, full of whimsy and wonder. This really is a neat spot to stop at. From a teapot museum to the elephant museum, of course. I had just seen information about it being a fun little quirky stop. Candy and elephants put together. But this neat garden around here is just quite fascinating. Bottle art, metal art, little sculptures, bowling ball garden earlier. Looks like we have some bronze nutcrackers. I don't know if they're bronze, but the Hi-Ho Trail. Hey there, little fella. I see what looks like dwarfs here.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if they're Snow White's dwarfs. Let's see if they're Snow White's dwarfs. If they're Snow White's dwarves, I should expect to see Snow White. Oh yeah, that looks like Grumpy right there. And here we have Snow White. We had a fun first day in Gettysburg at the Eisenhower Farm, and then checking out Mr. Ed's inside and outside. If any of you have been there before, had some experiences, let us know in the comments what your favorite parts were, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.